Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the December 22nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video, the first full day of winter here. And a relative lull in the pattern right now. A couple more cool, quiet days coming, but an interesting system moves through the night before Christmas into Christmas Day, and then the pattern really loaded with the potential as we get into the following week. Let's take a peek at how things are shaping up this morning here. And that's a look at temperatures at the 4 a.m. hour. And at that point in time, you can notice really the really brutally cold air is bottled up north of the Canadian border. There's a lot of chilly air across the lower 48, but nothing really brutally cold this morning. And again, this morning, our temperature's down below freezing around the Piedmont of North Carolina down into the upstate of South Carolina this morning. The radar relatively quiet. We have had this persistent area of snow that's moving through the Midwest. That'll move through Chicago today. Could be some travel delays with that. And still watching the organization of the next major system back in the Rocky Mountain region. That is going to be a disruptive system in a lot of places as we go through the next few days. Let's start off with the GFS model. This is the 6C run, and we're looking at the chart for 1 o'clock this afternoon. And a lot of quiet weather through the eastern part of the country. But just the very beginnings of that system back in the Rockies taking shape. We go out to tomorrow, and there you go. The system really begins to blossom its precip. For our area tomorrow, it's going to be another quiet day. Today and tomorrow, we're looking at 40s for highs in most spots, maybe a few low 50s tomorrow afternoon. A lot of sunshine today, but clouds increasing ahead of the system tomorrow, and you notice the precip really breaking out back in the nation's midsection as we go through tomorrow. And this will be some heavy snow breaking out in portions of the Plain States. We go out 24 hours later. This is Christmas Eve at 1 in the afternoon. Pretty dynamic system taking shape. Could be some severe weather here in the lower Mississippi Valley with this in the warm sector. And we'll begin to see some very heavy snow take shape in this northwest corridor portion of the system. There'll be some blizzard conditions developing Christmas Eve over the Plain States, spreading up toward the western Great Lakes. Now here we are on Christmas morning at 7 a.m. And at that point in time, you have a raging blizzard taking shape here from the Plain States on up through parts of Iowa, moving into Wisconsin and the western Great Lakes region. This is going to be a big winter storm up that way. At the same time, you have the precip moving here into our region. Notice a very good indication of cold air damming showing up on the modeling. And that means I still think we're going to have to watch for this potential for a period of some freezing rain. Let me run through some of the modeling here. Again, that's how it looks 7 a.m. Christmas morning. And as we get to 1 p.m., the precip moving out, the atmosphere's warmed up a decent amount across the Carolinas. But let me show you the GFS. These are surface temperatures, and this is the chart for 1 a.m. Christmas morning. So just after midnight there on Christmas morning. And to see if I can draw this for you. This is, again, this is just the pure surface temperatures off the 6C GFS. Let's see, 44, 38. This would be your freezing line right there. And so you're looking at the GFS indicating sub-freezing temperatures as the precip develops and moves on in across the cold air damming regions of North Carolina early on the morning, Christmas morning. So let's run through some of this. This is the GFS chart, 7 o'clock in the evening, Christmas Eve. And you'll notice a lot of similarities on the maps here. There's the big cranking surface low back in the Plain States, clear indication of cold air damming here east of the mountains. So that's the GFS. The UK Met, very similar, a little even more pronounced actually with the cold air damming signature. The Navy NOGAPS, pretty similar. European, also pretty similar. Good indication of cold air damming. Let's go to the Canadian. Same general idea, maybe a little quicker with the precip, but you have the cold air damming showing up, and this is the precip type off of the Canadian for, let's see, that would be 3 a.m. Christmas morning. And that red shading you see there, that is the Canadian picking up on that freezing rain potential. So I do think, as we look at this, that there is certainly the chance for some freezing rain in the northwest Piedmont and the foothills. Early in the morning, Christmas morning. And again, I don't think it's terribly significant at the moment, but I do have concerns. There's, of course, a huge snowpack in place over the northeast, the mid-Atlantic, and even still this morning down into the northwest Piedmont. So you might be seeing the models underestimate the cold. Typically, they do underestimate the cold in cold air damming scenarios, and so you add in a snowpack to that, there's even more potential for maybe some underestimation of the temperatures in terms of how cold it might be Christmas morning across the cold air damming regions of the Carolinas. So this is something we'll watch. I still lean toward this not being a huge deal, but I do have concern for the Northwest Piedmont for maybe a significant period of freezing rain Christmas morning. We'll see how that plays out. At the moment, it's just in the slight concern category, but we'll see how the models trend here over the next 48 hours as we get closer to the Christmas morning time frame. All right, let's see where we head after that. This is a look at Saturday, 1 p.m. Pretty quiet weather day Saturday overall. Now, there is some chance we might see some energy try to get left behind in the Gulf here, but at the moment, it looks like if that happens, it would be suppressed off to our south. So I'm still going with the dry weekend forecast for Saturday and Sunday. All right, here's the chart again. The 8 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar pattern, the upper air pattern, European model on the left, GFS on the right. Still looks like a very interesting pattern, to say the least, for next week. And what we're going to see happen is a storm system slowly move into California, and that'll take a very southern, typical El Nino type of track across probably the northern Gulf of Mexico with a developing area of low pressure. There'll be cold air around in the eastern United States, and both the GFS and the European indicating that scenario. Here's the GFS's depiction of that at 7 o'clock in the evening Tuesday. And it keeps things sort of suppressed a little bit off to the south, but even at face value, it's indicating some light snows around here Tuesday, late in the day into Tuesday night. The European is actually much more bullish with this, indicates a lot more precip than the GFS does. It prints out some pretty good QPF with that system as it pulls on through late Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. So that's the first system to watch. Midweek next week, there's potential for some wintry precip around the region. With that, we follow that up with probably another system. This is a look at the GFS at New Year's Day, 7 in the evening. It follows that up with another weaker system early in January, and then you get a little deeper into January. Here comes another system. This is the 5th, another strong system moving in. So it looks like still the pattern as we go through New Year's week and into the first week of the new year. The pattern's still conducive for cold air, some storm systems, so conducive overall around the region for some wintry weather chances. Again, it looks like the first one after, of course, our freezing rain potential Christmas morning. Looks like around Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week is another time period to be watched. So a lot of interesting weather on the table here for the next few weeks. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day today, and God bless.